A warm welcome to everyone. We will start with the land acknowledgement.
The land upon which we work, live, and sustain ourselves is the ancestral and treaty lands of the Michizagig Anishinaabe, also known today as the Mississaugas of the Credit, the rightful caretakers and title holders of this land. We also recognize the rich pre-contact history and relationships which include the Anishinaabe and the Ongwe Hongwe.
Since European contact, this land continues to be home to Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. As responsible community members, we value the diversity, dignity, and worth of all people.
Colonialism displaced and dispossessed Indigenous peoples of their ancestral land
and continues to deny their basic human rights, dignities, and freedoms.
We are committed to learning true history to reconcile, make reparations, and fulfill our treaty obligations to the original peoples and our collective responsibilities to the lands, water, animals, and each other for future generations.
Welcome to our Community Services Panel event commemorating Mental Health Month at the Peel District School Board. We are delighted to have you here as we come together to discuss the vital services and supports our community organizations provide for children's and youth's mental health and well-being. This event was put together by members of the Peel District School Board's Children's Mental Health Committee. Before we begin, we would like to introduce ourselves as moderators for this event. My name is Michael Smith. I am one of the clinicians on the mental health resource team with the Peel District School Board. You're muted, Virginia.
And my name is Bożena Tutaj. I'm also a mental health clinician on mental health resource team with the Peel District School Board. Welcome, everyone. Good morning.
Thank you, Bożena. Today, we are honored to be joined by a distinguished panel of representatives from 7 exceptional community organizations in the region of Peel, each dedicated to making a positive impact on the lives of children and their families. These organizations play a crucial role in promoting mental health awareness, providing essential resources, and offering compassionate care to our community. Each organization joining us today will have the opportunity to share an overview of their services.
Thank you, Michael. On that note, we would now like to welcome Malton Neighbourhood Services as our first presenters. We have here with us Elvira Miseli, Director of Family Services, and Maya Gutierrez, Youth Wellness Hub Coordinator. Thank you both for joining us and turning it over to you.
Thank you for including Malton Neighbourhood Services in this very exciting and important panel. Today, we will be showcasing 2 of our main departments within the organization, our Family Services Department and our Youth Wellness Hub Department. Within our Family Services Department, it consists of our Black Family Support Program, which is a free service to Black families Black parents along with their children from the ages of birth to 12 years old. The program itself consists of drop-in programs and gathering programs for the LGBTQS+. We offer one-on-one supports by our social workers. Then we have our Early On program that is also free to families within the region of Peel that offers programs for children, parents and children from birth to the end of their 6th year of birthday. Everything is child-led organized, and it offers some supports and resources for parents as well. We also offer our Growing Together in Peel, our CAPC program, that is in person once a week in our Malton location from 5 to 7 p.m. And during this program, we also offer a healthy and nutritious meal for the families and their children. I wanted to focus in on some of the benefits, key benefits of our Family Services Department. It helps to improve the outcomes for children, youth, families, and the individuals who need support, and advancing the interests of families across the region of Peel. Provides a culturally appropriate prevention program and activities that promote the safety and well-being for the families, along with their children in the region of Peel. It focuses on safe, healthy children and families supported by qualified staff, able to identify and address both child and family needs. Within the year of 2023, our Black Family Support Program, it serviced just under 1,700 families. Our Early On serviced just under 70,000, and our CAPC offered once a week, serviced just under 1,500.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for having us again as well. I'll talk a little bit about the youth department and some of the programs and services that we offer and how youth and children can access them along with their families. You're going to have to speak to me. Yep. So this is our wonderful team, and we're just continuing to grow. So we're really, really excited about that. We've recently added on a nurse practitioner, a youth coordinator, and then our partner agencies are always growing as well. So our team is much bigger than this now. We'll start off with our youth outreach program. We have 2 outreach workers that work on site with us. So we have our youth outreach worker and our enhanced youth outreach worker. So their goal is to really just go out, connect with the youth, and get them to come happy to utilize their services. They work within the age range of 11 to 21. They focus on building relationships, assessing any needs that the youth need, raising awareness, advocating for them. Our youth outreach worker, the difference between the two, our youth outreach worker is non-clinical, so she provides more employment supports, education supports. She helps out with fill-up applications if they want to apply for the university. She runs programs within the schools within Malton as well, the schools. And then our enhanced youth outreach worker, she does more clinical one-on-one counseling. She provides low-risk counseling for youth where anxiety, depression, in addition to everything that the youth outreach worker does as well. They are community-based and mobile, so they are able to go out into the community to meet with the youth. They have great connections within the school, so any of the school social workers are able to access our outreach workers as well. And usually the wait list for them is 1 to 2 days, I would say. We try to keep it as quickly as possible with getting access to our service providers. Our youth coordinator, Juan Charles, he is one of our new staff. He runs our school-based program. So we have an after-school program. We have summer camp that we run within the summer. And then we have our homework program. So these are the programs we run for youth starting at age 6. Our entire department usually starts between 11 and 12, but these are the ones that we can provide for younger children. So our homework club is a drop-in, no-cost program twice a week that we run during the school year. We usually send out the registrations to all the schools, and then within the parent portals, parents are able to register their children with us at no cost. So twice a week, they're able to come for an hour and a half, drop into our location, and they get tutoring assistance from our volunteers that we scout from the high schools to get their volunteer hours. We also have our summer camp, which is really, really popular. Every year we do it between July and August. We have about 60 youth that attend from the ages of 6 to 13 years old at a really low fee of $50 a week. So families are always really excited. We've already been getting calls about when camp is starting. With that, we hire youth from our schools as well, our high school youth, to apply. We provide them training as well. So first aid training, high five training, to get them the leadership skills in order to run the programs. And then our after-school program is funded by the United Way. This one runs in Morningstar Public School, which is a local middle school within Malton. So this program is focused towards children grade 6 to grade 8. And this one, they can register through the school. It's usually just the children within Morningstar that are able to access this program. This one, we focus on physical activity, nutritional awareness. They get healthy snacks. We talk about community awareness and just overall the mental health well-being. So we do lots of fun workshops with them. They play lots of sports. So those are the 3 programs that our youth coordinator runs. We also have our youth justice program. This is for youth within the Peel region between the ages of 12 to 17 that are in conflict with the law. Not anybody can just be referred to this program. They have to be within conflict of the law in order to see our youth justice worker. I don't have a picture of her. She didn't want to give me one, but Teresa is wonderful. She's been in the field for a really long time. She provides counseling as well for them, and she also kind of helps whatever their probation may require, whether it be getting volunteer hours, whether it be doing some community service. She's able to access and provide support in that aspect. Our Malton Youth Wellness Hub, which is another stem of our youth department, is myself, Terrell Johnson, who's our peer care coordinator, Lisa McDonald, our wonderful clinical manager, and Sabrina, who's our peer support worker. We all work in conjunction with each other along with the outreach team. We're all very, very close. With the Malton Youth Wellness Hub, we are a one-stop shop for youth ages 12 to 25. So any youth can come in. We're extremely low barrier. Doesn't matter socioeconomic status, demographic, gender background, religion, status. They are able to come and access our services. Our core services include mental health, substance use, primary care, education, employment, housing, and peer support. Within these services, we have connected with multiple partners in the community to provide these services. Our partners include Malton Neighbourhood Services, we have 4 Community Health Services, which is our primary care service provider, Eclipse Youth Center, Canadian Mental Health Association for our mental health services, Our Place Peel for housing, Punjabi Community Health Services as well for mental health and substance use. We have Achieve, who's our partner for employment, and the City of Mississauga for recreation, Every Minds for mental health, and our center is a new partner for housing. The LGBTQ5. So again, to access any services within the Youth Wellness Hub, to access any of those core services or any of our psychosocial drop-in services, I am the initial intake worker. So they would initially come and contact me. Through me, I would do the intake. I would see what appropriate service provider would be the best suited for them. I could also recommend any of our drop-in programs if they kind of just want something fun to do. And usually, again, we try to keep it as low barrier and quick turnaround in order to see a service provider. So either same day or the next day. None of our programs are at a cost, so everything is no cost to the youth. They just have to be within that age range. The trends that we've noticed for the Youth Wellness Hub is we've seen really high numbers for our specific location for our psychosocial drop-in programs. Our youth love coming to programs where we're playing games, where we're playing music, where we offer snacks and food. They're always there. Our mental health core services were a bit low, but through just the interactions through our drop-in programming, they've been able to build relationships with our staff. So we've been getting a lot of more one-on-one counseling, which I find. So our numbers are slowly going up, which is great. I know it's really hard for low-income communities, for youth from certain ethnic backgrounds. It's hard to reach out for mental health support. So we're starting to see those numbers go up. So we're really excited for that. And here's our contact information if you need to contact us. Just ask for Maya or Elvira. Thank you.
Thank you, Malton Neighbourhood Services. Now we would like to introduce Every Mind Mental Health Services. Representing this organization today is Nella Secondino, Supervisor of Clinical Services. Nala supervises clinicians in the infant, child, youth, and family counseling program, serving children 7 to 17 and their caregivers. Welcome, Nala. We look forward to your presentation.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Excited to be able to talk about what Every Mind is doing in our community. I hope you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So some of you may be less familiar with the name Every Mind. We were formerly known as Peel Children's Center and have been in the community since 1985. We currently employ about 250 staff. We are funded by the province of Ontario and the regional municipality of Peel. And we also receive support from donors, and we have a very active team, volunteer coordinators, and a team who works at getting additional funding for many of our services that are not funded by the province or the region of Peel. In 2023, we serviced over 7,600 people, offered 7,600 services to over 5,000 people in Peel. And our mission is to work with our community, developing caring communities for children, youth, and family by inspiring hope and leading in high quality delivery of mental health services. Our values are to be accountable to the community, to the clients that come to see us, to the families, and to the partners we work with. Our staff are committed to being respectful and inclusive in the work that they deliver. We hope to be responsive to the needs of the clients and provide the best service at the time that they are approaching us for help. We are an agency that's committed to ongoing learning, and so there's excellent training for staff. And we learn from our clients as well. So we are always looking at new and innovative ways of collaborating and growing within our community. This is what our main office looks like. You can see our front desk, and we are located at Derry and Highway 10. In 2021-22, we served very similar numbers of people. You can see the areas that we serve, anywhere from North Caledon to Mississauga, and clients that are coming to see us experience everything from mental health or disorders such as anxiety, mood. Perhaps they're having family relationship issues or school issues. We've definitely seen a lot of school avoidance since the pandemic. And one of the things that parents are really struggling with is helping their kids get out of their houses, go to school, socialize, get off of gaming devices. We're seeing a lot of children with symptoms of OCD and continued worries about whether it's safe to be away from their homes. We service families that speak multiple languages, and we offer interpreter services whenever needed. So this year, Every Mind was accredited by Accreditation Canada. Previous to that, we've been accredited by many other other bodies. We this year had great success and achieved approximately 95% of the applicable criteria that we were looked at. And the reason that Every Mind is so committed to doing this is that we want to ensure that we are delivering what we set out to deliver and doing the best that we can for the families we serve. So this is some of the feedback that we got from the surveyors. The organization is highly commended for the considerable steps taken to meaningfully engage youth and families, and for the initiative for initiating progressive approaches, including the diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy, the where to start, coordinated access and intake, human resource strategies, and infrastructure advancements. So there are multiple services that are offered at Every Mind, where to start being the first access point. We offer brief services such as the Tangerine consultations and one-stop talk, crisis support, targeted preventions, and family capacity building services, as well as counseling programs and specialized consultation with psychology and psychiatry. And we also offer more intensive services, including wraparound, in-home and in community, live-in treatment, day treatment, as well as support to individuals using who are in the court system and need support of child witness programs. Our crisis response services available 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. Our mobile crisis is 9 to 5 days a week. Supportive follow-up calls are offered after a crisis is completed, a crisis service is completed. And sometimes the workers will have the ability to support families in accessing other services as well, or remaining involved as service coordinators until they are connected to another service. And a call can be initiated from a caregiver, a child or youth, or others in the community, such as a relative, a social worker, perhaps from school, a doctor, or the police. So there is actually now one line for crisis in Peel. So if there is a youth calling, we strongly encourage youth to press 1. It is usually a quicker response for youth. Regardless of what number, if you press 1 when you're prompted, or 2, someone will get back to you if you have to leave a message, and it's usually within 15 to 20 minutes. And the reason for someone not perhaps being able to answer right away is that they may be on a call with another client, but definitely encourage youth and anyone calling to leave a message so someone can get back to you promptly. Anyone under the age of 18 is eligible to use our Every Mind crisis service. If you are over 18, so if a caregiver is calling about a child, you would be directed to Every Mind's crisis. If you are calling for a mental health issue and it's an adult issue, then you would select 2 and be directed to another line. If anyone is interested in making a referral to the crisis department, please remember that we do need consent of the youth or caregiver if they're over the age of 16. And when you are making a referral, basically you would be providing the name, the date of the birth of the client, the address, phone number, and the parent's name. And you would be required to just give a quick overview of what the presenting concern might be. And when an individual contacts crisis, the clinician or the person answering the call will assess the nature of the call, the level of risk, provide perhaps some stabilization and some strategies that might help kind of contain whatever is happening, or advise them to go to the nearest emergency department if things are escalating and safety is at imminent risk. We also, our crisis department will offer an in-home visit, an in-person visit if possible. And as I said earlier, they will also support in bridging to other services. Once an intake or connection is made with crisis, they will offer to do a 24-hour follow-up call or longer if needed. And our crisis team also supports PCCN, Peel Capacity Network, during holidays and after hours. The other service that Every Mind supports and is running 5 days a week is our Tangerine consultation. It is 45 minutes in length, and it can be accessed by youth, children, or their caregivers. So we're really trying to remove all barriers to service for this. Any parent, any caregiver can contact. If a parent is calling and they want service for a child who's over the age of 16, we strongly encourage them to invite their youth to attend with them, but we would not turn them away. We would still offer some parenting support or resources to the parent if their youth does not want to participate. The sessions are available between 10 and 7 p.m. Monday to Thursday, and 10 to 4 on Friday. And this is the link for tangerinewalkin.com is where you can complete a registration if you're interested in accessing a counseling or consultation. And it is intended to provide support with any parent conflict parent-child conflict that might be happening, any school difficulties, any symptoms of anxiety, depression, or any acting out behaviors. Sometimes parents don't really know what's going on and they just need someone else to talk to, and they can call and usually get an appointment in the same day. What to expect when you show up for a counseling session, whether it be virtual, on the phone, or in person. A clinician always reviews the limits of confidentiality, talks about privacy and how the record is kept, and then engages the child, youth, and caregiver in a discussion about what brought them to service and what would be helpful for the 45 minutes that they're together. We are committed to reducing death by suicide. So in all of our sessions, ongoing and for our tangerine, we do complete a Columbia screener, and if necessary, we'll help bridge to other resources to maintain safety, or to safety plan with the family if they feel that they can maintain safety at home. At the end of the consultation, the family or youth will receive some verbal recommendations about what they could go home and try right away. There will be a brief consultation note that summarizes the reason for attending and any recommendations or suggestions, possible referrals that were discussed. The note is available to families if they request it. If not, it is just housed here at Every Mind. And they could access the service more than once if need be. We also have one-stop talk, very similar to our Tangerine walk-in, servicing youth up to their 17th birthday. The hours are slightly different, 12 to 8 on Monday to Friday, and they offer a 12 to 4 time slots between 12 and 4 for the consultation through one-stop talk. Again, people can self-refer, and there's no cost to any of these services. So I'm going to talk a little bit about where to start, which is the coordinated intake and access system to all services in Peel. So it helps families figure out what it is that they need and helps them navigate to the appropriate service. Again, this is the region that where to start. We'll look at resources within this region and help families navigate within those regions. They may be making a referral to William Osler, Trillium, Associated Youth Services, or may be offering something that is offered at Every Mind, which may be a group or more intensive services. And some of the examples, again, of why someone might access services is because of a mental health concern or diagnosis, anxiety, depression, OCD, or impulsive thoughts, trauma symptoms. Perhaps they're having difficulty in relationships. Perhaps they're being bullied at school, or the family is going through a change. It might be a move, a separation. Families can access services to help support through those difficult times. There may be problematic behaviors, perhaps substance abuse or self-harm behaviors that the parent or youth would like to receive services and support with. Anyone who is requesting an intake can do so on the Where to Start website, and the form is very straightforward. It just asks for the family or client's name, an email address, a phone number where they can be reached, and a short message about why they're calling. And an intake and access specialist will reach out to the family or youth if they are over the age of 16 to complete an intake. And Where to Start, like Every Mind, is committed to meeting the diverse needs of the community in a warm, welcoming, and non-judgmental manner. Language translation is available, and sessions for the intake can be in person or virtual as well. And again, professionals can also make a referral, same website, they can fax that info@wheretostart.ca once they've completed a referral or a consent is required. Then that can be faxed to the Where to Start team, and they will reach out to the family to offer services. So we do offer services now up to the age of 25. So parents can call about someone from birth to 17, but certainly anybody 12 to 25 can also access services independent of their family. We do like to work with families wherever possible, especially in the infant, child, youth, and family counseling program. If there is a joint decision-making or responsibility agreement with parents who are separated, then we would reach out to both parents to let them know about the process and invite them to participate in the assessment and counseling if they so choose. And here's the contact number for where to start. And intakes are usually completed within 3 to 4 weeks. All right, so the intake and access specialist will determine eligibility. They do use a standardized tool, the InterEye Screener Plus, to kind of determine the intensity of services that might be required. And they would recommend services that can be offered after that, but also what after completing the intake, but also talk about things that the families can do while waiting, because some of our programs do have a lengthy wait time of 10 to 12 months. So they will offer other supports such as Tangerine Walk-In, One Stop Talk, and our crisis team, as well as suggesting groups and workshops at Every Mind. And so what do counseling sessions look like? Typically, they're 45 minutes to an hour in duration. And some of our least intrusive services, like the infant, child, youth and family counseling and youth counseling programs, they offer up to 20 weeks. Some of the live-in and day treatment may go longer, but we are usually looking at the first couple of weeks of assessment and then working with the family to develop a treatment plan that is wrapped up in about 20 weeks. And we use a variety of client-centered and strength-based modalities, CBT, TBT, solution-focused, narrative, and we draw upon family therapy, attachment theory, emotion-focused family therapy, circle of security. And for parents, you may wonder, like, what does a typical session look like? What will my child be doing? How will the clinician engage me and my child? So I thought I'd share a little bit, very client-friendly approaches to help them look at, how big is the problem? What is the problem about? Is it something that I can resolve on my own, or do I need help? Our clinicians talk about the brain and use the Dan Siegel's hand model of the brain to talk about what happens when we become dysregulated and how we can develop coping strategies. Everyone has mental health, and understanding how the brain works can help children and their caregivers better cope with stressful situations. This slide is actually from our Parenting Your Anxious Child workshop, which helps families understand what anxiety is and how they can best support families. So using a CBT, cognitive behavior model, to teach parents about anxiety and body sensations that a child might be feeling, thoughts that might result from that, some of the behaviors that they might be seeing, and how to reframe unhelpful thoughts to more neutral or more helpful thoughts. Our clinicians may introduce the flight, fight, freeze reactions of the body, talk about what does it look like. And so families often say, we're seeing acting out behaviors, or the child is acting silly after school. They don't want to do anything with their friends anymore. So parents may be focused primarily on what they're seeing, but there's usually a reason behind that. And through whether it's individual and family counseling or a group, we will help the family understand that the behavior is usually a way of communicating a need. And again, just to show you a little bit about some of the modalities, CBT and DBT, we might look at supporting clients, children, and their caregivers stay in this window of tolerance, where in the middle, where it's calm and relaxed and balanced, and where we can do our best work. But we understand that sometimes people can get hyper-aroused or be hypo-aroused and less productive during those times. So something as simple as a visual like this and a discussion about how you can bring yourself into that middle ground again. And that is who I am. I've been with Every Mind for about 30 years, and would be happy to speak with anybody if they have any questions about any of the services we offer here at Every Mind.
Thank you, Mind. And now we would like to introduce Indus Community Services. Representing Indus is Jasneet Graywall. Jasneet is the Family Services Counselor and Youth. Welcome, Jasneet. Looking forward to your presentation.
Hello, everyone. So I am from Indus Community Services. Like mentioned, I am the youth counselor, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about Indus today. So Indus is a nonprofit organization. It is meant for the community, where we serve the local community within the Peel region, so majority Mississauga and Brampton, a little bit of Caledon, and we provide different kind of services for the community, ranging for all ages. We also provide services in different languages. So we have like Hindi, Punjabi, Urdu, a few others as well. And we kind of have that cultural perspective as well as a trauma-informed perspective that we like to apply to all of our programs. And that is essentially the main viewpoint that we take when it comes to serving the community. We've been around for roughly 39 years now. Originally, we used to be called India Rainbow Community Services, and in 2016, we changed that to Indus Community Services. And we are accredited with the Commission on Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities, just making sure that all of our standards are being met and that we are providing the best quality that we can for the people that we serve. And we always aim to stay in line with our vision, which is supporting the community and making sure that we're building stronger communities. And always working to kind of manage the change through quality support that we give our clients, working on social and health services and being responsive to the public. And we do this through our perspective on inclusion and transparency, sustainability and integrity. So we are located, like I mentioned, we serve majority of Peel region. So we are located in 2 locations in Mississauga, where we have our newcomer services and our family services, as well as our adult day programs. And then in Brampton, we have essentially all of our services. We have our newcomer services, our health services, our adult day programs, and our family services. So when it comes to some of our core programs, we do not have a cost for majority of our programs. They do come free. We have our adult day service that I'll talk a little bit about, which does come at a low cost, but the rest of them are free services. And so the first one that I would talk about is our newcomer services. In newcomer services, we work for like settlement counseling. We help when it comes to filling out forms or interpreting these forms. A really great program we have is our link classes, where it's like English learning. And part of link classes, actually, we have like child minding so when people want to come to our link classes, we can also support in terms of if they have young ones at home. We have our entrepreneurships, which is in sewing and everything, where we teach clients how to do sewing so they can start their own businesses. And then, of course, we have our 2SL LGBTQ+ support services under newcomer services, which is helping them connect to different resources in the community, as well as providing just that sensitive lens in terms of when it comes to providing newcomer services. We have our employment services, which is resume building, job letters, and we have some job fairs that we do throughout the year. It's more for coaching on how to get employment. We don't necessarily provide jobs or connect you with jobs, but we do help in terms of mock interviews and reviewing your resume and reviewing your LinkedIn profile and things like that. So our next one is our health services, and this is where we have majority of our senior services. So this is like our adult day services, which I mentioned, where seniors can come in and there's a range of activities to stimulate not only like physical well-being, mental well-being, their social well-being. And we also run lots of wellness programs. We have our friendly visiting program where Volunteers will go in and visit seniors in their homes, spend some time with them. We've got our caregiver support, assisted bathing, and foot care services as well. And then we have family services. So within family services, we do not currently have any clinical supports for the community, but we do have supportive counselings for adults with OW or ODSP. We have youth counseling for ages 12 to 24, or we have our parents and caregiver counseling. We got counseling for new moms, victims of domestic violence, and we also have family court support. So we are still trying to support the community in the best capacity that we can.
You just got muted, Jasneet.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, do you know where I cut off?
Probably the last 3 sentences or so.
Okay, so I was just saying that in terms of family services, we don't currently have a wait list for most programs. There is a wait list for our CYP program, which is our child and youth and parenting program. The child and youth program has a month-long wait list, but I'll get a bit more into that when I talk more about the program. And then in terms of some of the other wait lists, sometimes health services has a few wait lists, but it's always great to get in contact with them and see if they can usually boost you up, or sometimes the wait list isn't too long. In family services, there are also a few trends that we've noticed in terms of the kind of referrals that come through. There is usually, especially after COVID, actually, there was a huge influx of referrals that were related to youth struggling to build relationships or connections or feeling very anxious in social settings. We also see referrals coming in regards to intergenerational conflict. That is usually a big one. And we also have trends kind of in domestic violence cases, as well as cases in regards to conflict within the home. So those tend to be the kind of cases that we see come through. And in terms of what to expect when you're getting in contact with us, it's usually a 2 to 3 business days until we kind of connect with you. We book an intake, and then from there we'll go through trying to see which services best fit you. So we do try to take a holistic approach, and we want to get you connected and do that wraparound service for you, where let's say if you're coming into us for youth counseling and then it's mentioned that maybe in that family they also need employment services, so we'll then connect you to the employment services, and maybe there's also they want more settlement support, then we'll try to connect you to that as well. So our goal is always to have that wraparound service, and if it's not a service that we can provide, we'll also connect you to the community. So in terms of after you've done the intake, we'll set you up with the services that you may need, and then we tend to usually start sessions. So when it comes to the youth program, which is what I work in, it's essentially a one-on-one confidential supportive counseling for youth. And as I mentioned, it's trauma-informed, culturally sensitive, and we do tend to focus on things like intergenerational conflict, coping with different mental health symptoms, and mainly just providing like a safe space for youth to be able to feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and emotions and working through processing those thoughts and emotions. And sometimes we work on goals, sometimes we work on building self-esteem and things like that. So it tends to be that supportive kind of counseling. We do also provide risk assessments and crisis planning and connecting youth to different resources in the community. We are not a crisis line, but we do help with crisis planning in the sense of understanding triggers and where to go and who to contact in situations that might arise. In terms of eligibility, it's just that the youth should be in the age range of 12 to 24, and referrals can be done either directly through our main line, which I'll share at the end, or they can be directly done through myself by call or email. Connected to our youth program is our parenting program. So we have 2 staff who are located in Mississauga and Brampton, and they provide the other side of what I do. They work with parents, and they provide kind of a place to be able to talk about some psychoeducation around mental health, maybe some of the things that their youth is struggling with, working through some of the conflicts that might be arising between parents and the child, and kind of making it a bit more cohesive, and again focusing on that holistic viewpoint of connecting them and making everything a bit more wraparound. We also have our WRAP program, which is a supportive counseling support for individuals 18 and above. The main criteria is that they're 18 and plus, and then in region of Peel. The program does have a focus on people receiving social assistance, such as OW or ODSP, but it is still open to serving all. And this program essentially focuses on issues of depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, addictions, and other mental health challenges. This program works on essentially connecting to other resources in the community, giving you one-on-one sessions. The sessions are usually about an hour long, and kind of just giving you that support where this could be the start point, and as well as a form of counseling. We also have our wellness sessions that are starting up soon. So this is going to be hosted by the CYP program as well as the WRAP program. There's going to be, it's about 6 weeks, and each week on the Wednesday, we'll do a webinar. It's about 2 hours long, and we cover different topics in each of them. So it's meant to be psychoeducational, but also just a place for people to come in and kind of connect with peers. It will be online, but our last session will be in person. So we cover things like what is wellness, different coping skills. We talk about how to support yourself and others who may be struggling with mental health. We talk about how to build goals and keep up motivation and things like that. And then our last session is meant to be more fun and lighthearted, and we'll do some activities. There'll be snacks and give out wellness kits and things like that. And then we have a new program starting at Indus, which is our Building Safer Communities. So this is essentially an initiative that was started to help with preventing gun and gang violence, and specifically for youth within the Peel region. It is catered more towards South Asian youth, but they do accept everyone. And they're targeting youth that are at risk of gang violence, and they're working on building those webinars where youth can come in, connect with each other, teaching them about different ways to handle maybe the stressors that are going on in their lives, as well as that educational piece and the awareness piece. So they're looking to start in late summer, early fall, and they'll have a bunch of stuff going on our social media posts for when they do start up on that program. And they are in collaboration with Roots Community Services as well as Victim Services of Peel. Their eligibility being 16 to 29. And they'll also be having sessions for caregivers and parents who may be struggling. Perhaps the youth doesn't want to attend these sessions. Maybe the parent is looking for ways to connect instead. We'll be running sessions for them as well. And then we have our ACES program for women. This is for counseling and empowerment. We run one-on-one sessions. They also do boost sessions, which are like a group session where they talk about different areas of wellness and health and supporting women, and essentially finding ways to empower them. We also do provide help with safety planning, as well as transitional home support. And as I mentioned, there's educational workshops and referrals to other resources, and just supporting witnesses of partner abuse through the HEAL network as well. And they're available in Brampton, Mississauga. We also work at the Safe Center of Peel. And that's another one of our programs. And connected to that one is our family court support, which is a program that we have where staff will support clients coming in terms of understanding how the family court support system works. They also help out with understanding legal aid and kind of debriefing on what happens in court, what to be prepared for, and understanding what kind of documentations they may need and things like that. So it's another support alongside our ACES program. And they do also accompany clients to the court proceedings if that is something that they need. So then we also have our MUSI program, which does not take direct referrals. So the previous programs did, whereas the MUSI, the MUSI program also takes direct referrals. This is for new moms, so first-time moms, or maybe for immigrants who have just come here and are having a child for the first time in here. Navigating that health system can be very difficult. So we have the support for them where we partner them with a mentor who maybe is from the same culture or speaks the same language, so that they can support them in navigating the systems here through their pregnancy as well as after having their child. So this is one of those supports where they offer coaching and mentoring and in terms of understanding co-parenting and things like that. The SOTH program is the one that does not take direct referrals. So these referrals come through CES. Our SOTH facilitators, they're cultural facilitators that work alongside CS workers to help families navigate CS as well as understand how CS works. So sometimes in different cultures, CS is a concept that's very daunting and authoritative, and our culture facilitators help in understanding what is happening, why they're there, as well as just navigating that system and connecting those families to the resources they need to meet their CS goals. We also have our community mental health program, which also does not take direct referrals. This is through SHIP housing. So these are individuals who are impacted by mental health and are struggling with housing. So SHIP connects them with housing units, and then our staff connect with those individuals and support them with check-ins. They are doing counseling sessions with them. They are just making sure that they're able to continue receiving the shipping housing. So in terms of the ways to connect with us, so we have our online website, which is our induscs.ca. We have our direct line. We also have our social medias. So you can connect through any of these avenues, and the person speaking to you on the other end will connect you with the right resources. We do a screening process where you come in, they'll ask you a couple questions, and then based off of that, they'll connect you with the right staff member. And from there, we tend to do an intake, like I mentioned earlier, and they'll continue to make sure that you're supported in a very holistic manner. And yes, I believe that's everything. Thank you for having me. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to hearing more things about the other participants.
Thank you, Indus Community Services. And now here we have Associated Youth Services of Peel, and represented by Chantel Lafleur, who is the Manager of Clinical and Youth Justice Services, as well as Lisa Bachmeyer, Director of Clinical and Youth Justice Services. Welcome to you both. You have the floor.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're just sharing our slides.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and present today to all of you. We're happy to be here. And so what does AYSP offer? So Associated Youth Services of Peel, or AYSP for short, is a community-based mental health and youth justice program and agency. And we work with children, youth, and families 0 to 17, really up to their 18th birthday. We are accredited by the Canadian Centre for Accreditation, and our location of our services do vary. We have services that are provided in the office, in-home, community-based, and we offer virtual services as well. In terms of our youth justice services, they are more mandated, but we run diversion programs, volunteer supports, our youth mental health court worker program, and we also have an on-site attendance center. For our children's mental health and youth programs, we are mainly seeing youth who are experiencing mental health struggles such as anxiety, depression, emotion dysregulation, self-harm and suicidal behaviors, history of trauma and loss, school-based issues, school refusal, behavioral challenges, interpersonal difficulties, and of course, we're providing support to parents and caregivers and their families. So
I'm
all of
very
our
sorry to interrupt, Lisa, but we cannot see the presenting. If you are sharing a screen with us, if you have a PowerPoint, we cannot see it right now.
Oh, okay, that's not good.
Okay, give me one moment. Sorry, we were sharing, or I thought I was sharing. One moment, please.
Should we go back to the beginning then?
I will, just give me one moment. And shall we restart it?
Yes, please. Yes,
We can
please.
see it with your notes currently.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Now we're sharing.
Are you good now?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, my apologies.
But we have to.
There we go.
And you can see it now?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so we'll just start over then. Does that make sense?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. We got this now. Thank you so much for having us to present today to talk about Associated Youth Services of Peel. So AYSP is a community-based mental health and youth justice organization. We provide lots of programming for children, youth, and their families from ages 0 to 17, so up to about their 18th birthday. We do provide youth justice services in terms of our diversion programs, volunteer supports, our youth mental health court record program, and our on-site attendance center. As these are mostly mandated programs, I won't go into much detail on those today. We're going to focus more on our child, youth, and mental health programs. And so AYSP is accredited by the Canadian Centre for Accreditation. Our services are located in a number of different areas. We provide in-home service, community-based service, in office, and also virtual services. Just in terms of the young children and youth that we are seeing youth that are struggling with all kinds of mental health issues in terms of anxiety, depression, emotion dysregulation, self-harm and suicidal behavior, history of trauma, loss and grief, school challenges like school refusal, interpersonal difficulties, and of course, we provide support to their parents and caregivers and families. All of AYSP's services are free. We are funded by the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Community, Children, and Social Services. We do work from an anti-oppressive framework at AYSP, and we use a trauma-informed approach. So we do have a very diverse group of staff here, many who speak multiple languages, and we are also accessing interpreter services as required to service the diverse needs of our Peel community. So how to access AYSP services? So youth and parents and caregivers can contact AYSP directly to make a self-referral. So our phone number is 905-890-5222. AYSP is also part of the where-to-start.ca network that was Every Mind mentioned earlier. And that is our large network providing intakes for children, youth, and families wishing to access mental health services. And AYSP has 2 intake specialists that are part of that network. We also have referral pathways for our community partners, and these vary depending on the program. So it's probably easiest to refer to AYSP's website to look at how each program can be accessed. And that's our website, www.aysp.ca. So if you're trying to access services at AYSP, there is an intake process, and we'll just describe it a little bit so you know what to expect. So when yourself or a professional on your behalf calls AYSP or accesses where-to-start.ca, you'll speak to an intake specialist to schedule a time for an intake. And the intake will take approximately about 1 hour. There'll be some questions asked and a screener provided just to try to find the best supports and programs for yourself or your family. The intake specialist will recommend a program for your family and or your youth based on your needs and your preferences. And then this intake information will be sent to the program supervisor of the particular program that your family or youth has been referred to. So now I'm going to just take a little bit of time to describe the programs that we offer at AYSP. There's a number of programs, and then I'll turn it over to Chantal to talk about our youth-specific programs. So As I mentioned, we offer a number of mental health programs for children, youth, and families. And again, most are now offered both in person, which means in the home, in the community, or the office, depending on the program, or virtually. And really, our virtual services was a response to the pandemic, and now we've maintained that as a way to really provide more options in terms of youth and families and how they can access services. Start with talking about our counseling program. And so AYSP has an office-based counseling program, again, provided here, or it can be also virtual, depending on client choice. And this program works with children and youth that are having experiences of anxiety or depression. They may be experiencing grief or loss or interpersonal difficulties, relationship issues. And so children, youth, and families will speak to a counselor. Generally, they meet with them about once a week. And they would work on strategies and support for addressing all of those concerns. Next, I'll talk about our Family Connections program. So this program is an in-home short-term program, and it's really designed for children, youth, and families who have more urgent needs. And so a counselor will work to help the family with strategies to help them manage any crises that may be happening, and also to connect them with other services that they might need in turn. And it may be another longer term counseling program, or it could be some other resources that are available in the Peel community. We also offer a parent, adolescent, and child counseling program, which is our PAC-P program, and workshops. And so our PAC-P program is in-home counseling and or virtual. And this is a program where we're working with children and youth that are having some mental health concerns and are really struggling at school, or maybe there's school refusal and they're not attending. And so we work very collaboratively with the school board staff to help the youth and families kind of get back on track and become more back engaged with school and the community. We also run various workshops through this program. Some of the topics previously have been helping your youth manage stress or parenting in the digital age. And these workshops are offered throughout the year and are advertised by Peel District School Board staff. So that's how parents and caregivers can find out about them. And then our multi-systemic therapy program, or MST. This is an in-home evidence-based program for youth that are involved in high-risk behaviors. They may have had police involvement, or they may have been charged with an offense. The therapist will help youth and families to understand factors that are contributing to this high-risk behavior. They'll look at school, friends, family, neighborhood, really look at strategies and building a better understanding of what's happening so they can work to get the youth back on track. That's an evidence-based program and has very successful outcomes across Canada and even internationally as well. And then finally, I'll talk about our Triple P program, which is our positive parenting program. This is a program that is delivered around the world. It's an evidence-based model. It really focuses on helping parents and caregivers to learn new strategies or improve their parenting skills, and really to build a better relationship with their child or youth. And so we provide in-home or virtual counseling to families, and we follow a very specific model for Triple P. And we also offer multiple groups throughout the year so that parents are able to practice new skills together with other parents, all with the support of a trained Triple P counselor. We also offer a Triple P online course. So if parents or caregivers want to learn and practice new skills and strategies kind of at their own pace, then they're able to do that through this online course. And of course, as I said, all of our services are offered free of charge. So now I will turn it over to Chantel, and she is going to talk about our youth programs.
Thank you, Lisa. So our youth programs are youth-friendly and focus on engaging and empowering youth in their counseling and therapy. I'll talk to you about our first program here at the Adolescent Team. This program is in partnership with Peelschools and Every Mind Wraparound. It is a home or community-based service, which is providing youth and family counseling for youth involved with Peel Children's Aid Society. We also have our Education and Community Partnership Program. This is a program in partnership with PDSB, and the workers provide social and emotional support in 2 specialized secondary school classrooms. Our dialectical behavior therapy program, AYSP provides the full comprehensive evidence-based model of DBT. This program is for youth with self-harm and suicidal behaviors. It includes individual and family counseling, a multi-skills family group, and 24-hour phone coaching. The DBT program also runs an 18-week tree group, and this is a group for youth only. It offers an opportunity for youth to learn skills, including mindfulness, distress tolerance, and emotion regulation skills. Finally, our Youth Beyond Barriers program. STEPS program. The STEPS YCC program, STEPS Youth Community Counseling, which is formerly known as RAIN and TAO, is an outreach counseling program for youth who are struggling with mental health issues and who may be underhoused or homeless, who many are likely to transition to adult services at the age of 18. And so a lot of the focus is on trying to create a seamless transition for these youth in the community. And now finally, the Youth Beyond Barriers program. This is a multifaceted program for youth who identifies to as LGBTQ+, and for their parents and caregivers. This program provides individual counseling and a number of different groups for youth. We also provide a group throughout the year for parents and caregivers. So some of our programs have wait times and others do not. If you are waiting, here's what you can expect. So the intake specialist will let you know the approximate wait time for the program that you're waiting for. The AYSP supervisor of the program that you've been referred to will call you to explain the program further, and will also check in with you and or your youth while you are on the program wait list at minimum once every 3 months, and sometimes more frequently. We encourage all youth and parents caregivers who are waiting for services to contact AYSP if their situation changes while they're waiting for supports or if they have any questions or concerns. And so once a worker is available, the worker will call or email the youth or parent and caregiver to schedule your first meeting. Some of the supports that can be accessed and that are available while you're waiting. So youth and parents caregivers can access the Peel 24/7 Crisis Response Service, which I believe was mentioned in the Evermind presentation. Kids Help Phone, LGBT Youth Line, the Tangerine Walking Counseling, which is in Peel, and also the Provincial One Stop Talk. AYSP is proud to partner with several service providers in the community, including those in the areas of health, education, child welfare, developmental services, police and social services. And so these are a few of our community partners. To access our services, please contact AYSP. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, AYSP. And now we would like to introduce Queen Square Family Health Team. Joining us today is the mental health team. We have here Messina McCauley. She is the manager for the mental health team. And with her are the community mental health clinicians, social workers Nafisa Baino and Vivian Rea. Welcome to you three. We look forward to your presentation.
Thank you. So I'm just okay. So you can see the screen, right?
Yes.
So we are the Queen Square Family Health Team located here in Brampton. And a part of our family health team program is we have a community mental health program. And this program has 4 social workers on the team. And we offer some mental health programs for anybody who is in our community. Okay. So what we are is basically a short-term program. So we have individual and group therapy sessions. The program is for 16 years of age or older. So for those who are experiencing mild to moderate symptoms of anxiety and or depression, the therapy is delivered by trained registered healthcare professionals, so we're social workers or psychotherapists. We currently have no wait list. The services are offered in person or virtually. They're covered through OHIP, so there's no fee for any of our services. And we do have several different languages that we can offer our services in here at Queen Square. Some of the challenges that individuals may experience, we have a list of some of them below here. And these are some areas where we are trained and specialized to offer some treatment and programs for education around any of these topics, as well as some psychotherapy treatment. So depression and anxiety and stress seem to be our top three. We have relationship struggles, grief, trauma, self-esteem, emotion regulation, self-compassion, struggles with sleep. We offer mindfulness workshops, and we also address minority stress related to our 2S LGBTQ plus community. So that is our CBT Affirm program. And basically the goals of this program is to provide our clients with skills, knowledge, and confidence to manage their mental health and well-being. So we typically use a cognitive behavioral therapy technique. It is a structured, time-limited, goal-oriented form of evidence-based psychotherapy. We offer this for treatment of depression, anxiety, as well as stress and trauma. And all of the therapists on our team have additional training in cognitive behavioral therapy. So our community program consists of 4 different sub-services. So we have the community mental health team, we have a gender affirming care program, we have a partnership with CarePoint Health delivering Ontario structured psychotherapy, and we also have a partnership with Canadian Mental Health Association, Peel, with their DBT program. So I'm going to go through each program. So our community mental health team, this consists of education and therapy treatment groups. So we have our 8-week CBT group for anxiety and depression. This group, you would need a referral from a physician or healthcare provider. It's a partnership that we have with William Osler. And then we also have an anxiety and depression alumni group. So whenever a client completes the 8-week program, they come to our alumni group just to check in on skills building and how they're doing. So that is our treatment group. We have workshops. We deliver virtual and in-person workshops on various topics. We have a self-compassion, self-esteem, DBT skills, mindfulness, grief, healthy relationships, how to manage stress and trauma. And these are all self-referral. So anybody can go on our website and register. They're for 16 and over. So if you go online, you register, we will send you the Zoom link. If it's a virtual workshop and if it's in person, you will see the address in the registration form. And those are offered every Tuesday or Thursday of the month. So we rotate different topics. We have our gender affirming care. We offer individual and group therapy for anyone who is 2S LGBTQ+. They have to have a provider within Queen Square. So if they're seeing our nurse practitioner, typically they would be automatically connected to us. For our CBT Affirm group, it is self-referral or your healthcare provider can refer you. We have interprofessional collaboration. We monitor assessment tools. So we look at their symptoms using different assessment tools. We help them with system navigation. And typically clients can be referred from doctors, healthcare providers, or they can refer themselves. We do have an exclusion criteria. I'm not going to read everything, but basically anyone under 16, we wouldn't serve. Someone who's obviously in a more severe state within their mental health journey, or if they're having any suicidal thoughts or suicide risk. These are clients we would definitely want to connect to a service that can offer more intense support. So Ontario's Structured Psychotherapy Program, this is our partnership with CarePoint Health. We have 2 registered psychotherapists who offer individual psychotherapy for anxiety, depression, and trauma. They're trained in cognitive behavioral therapy and cognitive processing therapy. They can treat anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. So patients are usually, they can be referred by a doctor, or you can also, again, self-refer and sign up. There's a website link. As soon as you click on that link, it takes you to a login page where you can register. Once you register, you get a telephone call for an intake appointment with CarePoint Health. After you have your intake appointment, they assign you a therapist within the Peel region. And again, they can be virtual or in-person sessions. And we have 2 therapists on our team who see clients in this program. Our dialectical behavioral therapy program, that is a partnership with Canadian Mental Health Association. This is a DBT skills training group. It's individual DBT psychotherapy in addition to the groups. You do get some skills coaching and one-to-one therapy. It also consists of a consultation team. There is a website that you can sign up for. Again, I think you can just register yourself. You don't necessarily need a physician referral. You can call their main line, which is their intake line. You would complete an intake form, an assessment, and then again, they would call you to set up an intake appointment. This program is for anyone who's 18 years or older, who's living in the Brampton, Bramalea, North Etobicoke, West Woodbridge, or Malton area. Anyone who's experiencing difficulties regulating their emotions, may have some impulsive behaviors, recurring suicidal thoughts, mood swings, interpersonal conflict, and difficulty with relationships. So it's a specialized program that teaches you emotion regulation skills, and we are partnering with the CMHA Peel to offer this program. This is our brochure and our wellness workshop flyer. So typically we hand these out to different community agencies. You can visit our website to download it. The brochure has everything that was listed in the presentation. So if you wanted to visit our website, you can download that. And then our wellness workshop flyer just lists all the different workshops we're offering right now. And it tells you how to join our workshops. So you can scan the QR code or just go to our website. You can even call into our office. We understand some people might not be able to use the computer, or they're not comfortable maybe scanning a QR code. So you can always call in and register as well. How to contact us, we have our websites, we have an email, so you can email us as well if you have any questions about our services or our programs, and you can always phone in. Again, there is no wait list and there is no fee, and if you do have ever questions, please email or call us. And that's it.
Thank you, Queen Square Family Health Team. Now we would like to introduce Roots Community Services. This organization is presented today by Jamal Taylor, Community Development Officer. Welcome, Jamal. You have the floor.
Right. Is my screen sharing working?
Yes, thank you.
Lovely. All right. Hello, I am Jamal, a Community Development Officer at Roots Community Services, and thank you for allowing me to participate in this panel. So Roots is a nonprofit focusing on addressing the needs identified primarily in the Black, African, and Caribbean communities. And our programs are considered to be pathways to wellness that take a client-centered, anti-oppressive, and inclusive lens. Although our focus is primarily the BAC community, we serve anyone who seeks our services because we understand what it means to be underserved and ostracized. So our programs are suited for almost all ages, from children as little as 6 years old to seniors well into their 90s, and naturally, of course, everyone in between. We currently provide services in the region of Peel and Halton, but This attachment area is not too rigid. So for example, if somebody is outside those two regions seeking our services, and depending on the program, services can be delivered over the phone or virtually. So our mission is to provide culturally relevant services and programs to inspire and empower individuals, primarily from the BAC communities, to make positive changes in their lives and within their communities. Our vision is to lead in the transformation that would ensure the equity, equality, and inclusion for BAC communities throughout Canada. And our values, as you can see there, include accountability, there's community-focused, collaboration, compassion, equity, inclusivity, and integrity. So our programs are categorized generally into two. The first category is mental health and wellness. So for these programs, intakes are done in order to assess which programs is best suited for the clients and their families. A lot of these programs also emphasize the importance of partnerships that Roots has with other agencies. So let's say, for example, we partner with Children's Aid Society in Peel and Halton to provide their clients with counseling services. And an extension of our PLCAS partnership is the Acoma Wraparound Project, as you can see there, that on top of counseling services, it provides Afrocentric parenting support with improved access to employment, housing, education, and childcare. In Halton, we also have a partnership with the Reach Out Center for Kids, where clients there can also access counseling services with us. So due to the nature of those four programs I just mentioned, they're not self-referred. We also have programs for women. So one of them is Fresh Start for Women, which was developed to support women who have experienced any domestic violence situations, giving them access to a support group, counseling, legal support, even emergency shelters if needed through our partnership with Embrave, and really just quite literally to have a fresh start. And of course, our gender-based violence prevention program aims to provide a place of solace for women and trans women who have been trafficked or even have experienced family or intimate partner violence. And our one and only men's program, Black Men Speak Up, is designed as a brave space for men struggling to cope with mental health challenges. Counseling services are offered, as well as a monthly forum where men can open up and share their stories of hurt and begin their process of healing. We also have mental health and wellness programs for children and youth too, and I'll briefly describe them. So first is our provincial-wide Enhanced Youth Outreach Worker Program that Roots is also a part of. So the outreach workers in this program support youth who may be experiencing a wide array of challenges in effort to reduce barriers to accessing the support they need to address those challenges, also just to build youth resiliency. We have a student and family advocate program, which is split into two branches. There's one for Peel and one for Halton. The goal of this program is to foster healthy communication between the students and the families with the schools to combat racism, to combat bullying, and just to ensure that the school is an inclusive, welcoming, and supportive environment for the clients. Next is our next youth program is our SAPACY program, short for Substance Abuse Program for African, Canadian, and Caribbean youth. It is a partnership with the Center for Addictions and Mental Health, or CAMH for short, and it provides mental health and substance use services for Black youth and their families who face systemic barriers to accessing health services. So for this program, just to be clear, clients don't need to be abusing substances or using them to be eligible. The point simply is just to connect Black youth to Black clinicians. So we also have a new forum that is designed specifically for youth. It's called Young, Black, and Empowered. And facilitated by our youth caseworkers, this virtual forum gives youth the opportunity just to connect with other youth. And it occurs every second Thursday of the month in the evening time. And there's a QR code here and a website, of course, to register. Now, the second category of programs is our social well-being and community development programs, which gives clients opportunities to get involved in community and develop social skills. So one of them for women is our relatively new program. It's SEED, short for Social Enterprising and Entrepreneurial Development, which delivers free trainings and workshops for key business skills like marketing, financing, budgeting. It's also a great opportunity for women with small businesses just to gain exposure. Our seniors program, Healthy, Active, and Wise Seniors, is a social club, I'll say, intended to create a sense of pride, belonging, and independence among seniors. There's well over 100 registered, and they engage in activities like bingo, arts and craft, weekly in-person social gatherings, also learn about computer literacy too. And these activities engaged in they cater to everyone, including those with limited mobility. Now, we also have an after-school program called the Arts, Literacy, and Tutoring Club throughout this entire school year. It provides an enriching environment for students to learn, express themselves, and increase their confidence through various age-appropriate activities. It's a great hybrid of in-person and online activities. So, for example, we have an online life skills session where students can explore topics related to social issues and cultural identity. We have an online leader in training for youth to develop social leadership and mentoring skills. We also have an in-person arts and literacy session at our Brampton office location, where students will explore topics related to literacy, arts, well-being, and culture. So this alt club itself is free, like every single program we have, except the in-person component. So the fee is $20 per student for the entire year, just to fund for snacks and supplies that they use. We also have an online tutoring component that helps students with English, math, reading, writing, science, and French. And we also have a STEM for Kids series where students will have the opportunity to learn about coding and programming. And then last but not least, we have our summer camp component where students will go on field trips, watch movies, engage in both virtual and in-person activities, and of course, make new friends. This also with our in-person component also has a minimal fee of $50 per week, and the registration will go out soon. We have a Black Leaders of Tomorrow program. It's a 12-week business mentorship opportunity for youth to engage in business-related topics like investing, budgeting, marketing, and sales. And youth in this program work with a mentor who you can consider them as like seasoned, who have experience running a business or just experience with entrepreneurship in general, to come up with an action plan for a business idea that youth would have or want to have in the future. So some youth in the program I've interacted with had business ideas for like self-care products, skincare, hair care, things like that, candles, media content, floral designing, hairstyling, and even more. And the cohort also is exposed to a lot of networking opportunities with business professionals too. And upon graduating, there is an honorarium, just like a token of appreciation for being in the program and to help kickstart that student's business. So for those who aren't aware, Roots is a part of a major project that's expected to launch this year. So the Peel Black Health and Social Services Hub will offer individuals and families convenient access to primary care, mental health, and social service professionals in one place, kind of like a one-stop shop, to improve healthcare experiences and health outcomes. So the Ontario government has recognized the inequalities and faced by BC communities to access healthcare services, which is why they have allotted $25 million in funding for this initiative. So Roots has other ways of supporting the community. For example, our seasonal tax clinics for low-income families during tax season, volunteer and student placement opportunities, and supporting families with culturally appropriate food baskets during the seasonal holidays. And we also have a new one-year initiative with the Region of Peel itself called the Community Agency Housing Subsidy. So this initiative serves to support clients with improved access to housing supports and combating homelessness. So what can families expect when they access our services? So clients at Roots can expect qualified and dedicated staff offering a culturally relevant services. Adding on to the values that I mentioned earlier, our programs run on flexibility, confidentiality and privacy, and a client-centered approach. And our programs also help with personal development of the clients themselves, meaning they develop social and life skills, educational improvements, business skills, depending on the program, and more. So the first point of contact typically is our BAC community support line. Callers can inquire about our services, and if they're interested, we warmly send them to the appropriate staff on board. So for any clinical programs, an intake would be done for eligibility and just determining which program best suits the client. For the non-clinical programs, clients are transferred to the appropriate coordinators to get further information and to begin registration. And then some callers only want to talk, just like have a listening ear to avoid judgment, stigmatization by family and friends, or are just feeling isolated. And if persons are looking for services we don't provide, we analyze our organization's partnerships with agencies that do offer them, even the organizations on the panel today, and either give the caller the freedom to follow up themselves, or for easier navigation, we warmly hand them off to a contact at said agency. Not only is this crucial as part of our values, but this also ensures streamlined support. And again, it goes without saying that the community partnerships we have are very important for this aspect, for our ability to support our community members. Follow-ups are also important just to ensure that the support we provide is satisfactory. And if not, we work around with the client to co-strategize ways to improve our support. So what are the most common reasons that for referrals at Roots? So recent trends show that a lot of mental health support and after-school services for children are highly requested. Moreover, with summer now fast approaching, our summer camp is also highly requested, just in order for parents to give their children new experiences, be occupied throughout the summer break, and and a lot of kids say touch grass, kind of the term. So Roots also gets requests for by organizations like schools, faith-based organizations, other community agencies too, to participate in events, or even organize a presentation about our programs and services like this panel. So Roots also has significantly increased our presence in schools throughout Peel and Halton because of the value that is seen by the school boards. We also frequently get referrals for volunteering and student placements. So many schools within the PDSB, as well as other post-secondary institutions, trust us with their students to give them the necessary skills and experience to excel in their fields of study. Also, because of the amazing work that we do, a lot of community members ask to even contribute their time to our programs through volunteering work. We also get referrals for parenting support for topics like food security, parent-child communications, and donations too. Like, donations like food, clothes, things of that nature. So what resources can be accessed or recommended while clients are waiting for our services with us? So due to high demand for our services, some of our programs do currently have wait lists, usually things like our counseling services. We understand that being waitlisted for services can be stressful, and we are dedicated to supporting clients during this time. So the intake coordinator will let clients know the appropriate wait time for their program that they're seeking so that they aren't, in the dark about their status. And while clients typically contact us for a specific service, like counseling, for instance, it's common for them to be facing other challenges simultaneously, like maybe support they need for their children. So therefore, our follow-up and assessment process during the intake is very important here. By gaining a comprehensive understanding overall of a client situation, we can appropriately address those additional needs in the meantime. It can take the form of like external referrals to partnering agencies, or even internal referrals to support groups or other programs that can address those needs. Informational resources surrounding self-care and coping strategies may also be provided just to empower clients to take an active role in their well-being and maintain the resiliency while waiting for services. So for persons that would like to learn more about our programs, they can call or email our support line. The number is there. It operates 9 to 5 on weekdays. Our website also has much more detail on our programs that I've gone over, so please feel free to check it out. And in terms of our location, we currently have 2 offices, one in Brampton and one in Mississauga, though our Brampton location is our main office. So that's all from me. Thank you for listening, and I hope that for those listening, I leave you all with at least one key resource to help you and your families, and I will hand it back over to the moderators. Thank you.
Thank you, Roots Community Services. And now we would like to introduce Punjabi Community Health Services. Joining us today are Simran Guman, the long-term mental health case manager, and Dipinder Singh, who is a registered practical nurse. Welcome both. We look forward to your presentation.
Thank you so much for having us today. I am just going to share my screen. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you for the introduction. Like it was mentioned, we are from Punjabi Community Health Services. So Punjabi Community Health Services is a community-based nonprofit charitable organization that has been serving the community for about 33 years. We are very dedicated to addressing a wide range of community needs. This includes addiction needs, mental health services, senior programs, health promotion, parenting support, newcomer settlement programs, and programs for women, children, and youth. Our main focus is to provide care through an integrated holistic service delivery model, and it is our main priority is to be committed to supporting individuals through inclusive and supportive supports. So today we're kind of going to go over the mental health program at PCHS. So the mental health programs at PCHS are the eligibility criteria is what we do is we support individuals who are in need of understanding their mental illness, understanding their mental health. And like I mentioned, we do use a holistic approach and provide supportive counseling to individuals and family members. And what we do is we support individuals from 16 and above, and some of our programs actually do support individuals from either 12 to 25, or such as our family enhancement program that we will talk about a little bit more later on, and then our early psychosis intervention program that supports individuals from 14 to 37. So in order to reach out to PCHS, you don't need to have a formal diagnosis or anything. It's anyone who is looking for support with their mental health, addiction, senior needs, or anything that you feel like that we can support you with. You can definitely reach out to us. But this eligibility criteria today is just for the mental health program. So, like mentioned, our program objectives at the mental health program is to better help individuals understand their mental health and mental illnesses a little bit better. So what we do here is we try to improve their quality of life by understanding their needs. So we do a needs assessment, and then we also do goal setting and coordinated care plans, because we understand that mental health is not only related to our mental being, but also our physical needs, our needs in the community, and our needs within our environment. Some of our program's objectives are actually to reduce hospital visits and emergency room visits. What we do is we try to support individuals by creating a system for them so they do understand that what resources to connect to, and where they can turn to if they need support, if PCHS is supporting them in one situation, where they can go for another situation. And then essentially another objective is to provide education and support for the family. Now, the description of our program services. Like I mentioned before, we do individualized assessments. So we do plan and provide supportive counseling to individuals, and again, family members, if the individual has requested that. We do assist with daily activities, supportive services, and crisis avoidance. We also serve in coordination with other organizations as well. And then we also support individuals who are on a community treatment order, which I will go into a little bit more. Now, during our sessions, a lot of our case managers support individuals in various modalities. So the list here is the main ones that we use, such as CBT, DBT, client-centered approach, cultural sensitivity, holistic approach, strength-based. Again, looking at this, it could be a very daunting thing, because some of these topics and modalities we're hearing for the first time. So this is something that we also do, which is educate you guys on the different ways on how you can support yourself and kind of be your own mental health support. So our first program is called the Instead program. So this is a partnership project with CMHA and SHIP. And what it is, it's these referrals are made primarily from hospitals, social workers, and help links. So our goal here is to kind of reduce the unplanned repeated visits a client goes through in a hospital emergency department. So in this program, you would essentially have either an addiction instead program or a mental health instead case manager. And what you do is you gain support with them for 3 to 6 months before transitioning to our other program called the long-term case management program. And the age criteria for this is also 16 to 65. So anyone between that age, if they are referred to us through the hospital, we do support them through there. The next one is the long-term case management, which is something I do. And what we do is we accept resources from all sources, a hospital, self-referral, family referrals, different types. The services that we provide are to individuals from the ages of 16 to 65 as well. And in this program, the clients can stay in the program as long as they need, but we do try to kind of set a goal to have a wraparound for about a year to 2 with the clients that we're serving. And essentially the goal for this program is to support individuals and family members with their mental health related issues. Our third program that we have in the mental health department is called a concurrent disorder program. So this program provides culturally appropriate case management to individuals living with a complex addiction and mental health issue. So we, again, accept referrals from all resources, and this program serves individuals from 16 to 65 as well. The goal is to provide individual assessment, care planning, and supportive support and any interventions related to their addiction and mental health needs. The fourth program is called the Early Psychosis Intervention Program. So this program is in partnership with SHIP, CMHA, and ChemH. So these all referrals are accepted, and the age criteria for this one is a little different. The service is for individuals between 14 to 37 who've either experienced their first episode of psychosis or mental health issue for less than 2 years. So the goal for this one is to provide early intervention support to individuals who are experiencing mental health concerns. And what we do is we try to support them in leading a fulfilling and satisfying lives within the community. Our fifth one is the Rapid Response Saving Lives program, which is actually a program that we introduced during COVID, and we reintroduced it recently as well. So the program is where case management and peer support workers work together for individuals with experiencing substance and mental health related usage. So what we do is we do support individuals proactively identifying risks, South Asian adults and youth, and connecting them to resources to prevent mental health and addiction emergency and hospitalization. This is a wraparound service that we support individuals with to kind of minimize any mental health related issues or and prevent suicides. And now I'm going to turn it over to Depinder, who would speak about our other programs.
Thank you, Simran. So next up, we have our mental wellness program. So in here, what we do is provide culturally and linguistically appropriate services. And this is specifically targeted towards our newcomer population, specifically in the Halton region. And our target population that we are leading this program towards is South Asian and Muslim communities. So again, we accept referrals from all sources, and our clientele ages does start at 16 and up. And again, we provide one-on-one virtual counseling as well as a psychoeducational support group program. So the goal of this program is to provide, again, culturally appropriate services and resources to newcomers who, again, may not be aware of the resources that are available for them. We want to engage them. We want to support, advocate for them as well. Our plan is to do outreach and bridge gaps that are available in the services currently. We want to prevent the vulnerability and promote safety and well-being of our population. And next up, we have our Family Enhancement Program. So the Sahara Family Enhancement Program tends to provide supportive care services to individuals who are experiencing difficult situations in their lives. It could be domestic violence, it could be living with abuse as well. So the mission of this program, or the specific goal, is to help individuals learn to maintain a state of emotional wellness, not only for themselves, but for their families as well, and to strengthen their relationships with others as well through a way of empowerment. This program consists of both short-term and long-term interventions, and that includes counseling and support groups. So the Family Enhancement Program actually runs a women's support group every last Sunday of the month. And the entry criteria is as long as you're 16 years of age and older. Okay, so next up, we're going to go into some of the most common reasons that we have for referrals here at PCHS to our programs. And again, this is not just limited to mental health, but it could be other programs as well. They include mental health concerns, crisis support, substance use and abuse, gambling addiction, financial need, rent support, help to find housing, and settlement support as well. And again, it doesn't just have to be one of these reasons. A lot of the times it's a combination of these reasons. Okay, and so in terms of resources, so we currently do have a waitlist for our mental health program, and we understand that it is difficult sometimes to wait to receive those services. So we do offer some groups that can be accessed while you are still on the waitlist. For example, we have our Sahara Concurrent Disorders Wellness Support Group, and this runs on a weekly basis. So it's every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So participants can either join virtually through Zoom, or they can come in person to 50 Sunny Meadow Boulevard at Brampton. Next up, we have our mental health support group. So this is a new group that we are starting, and this week will be the first week, but it runs weekly every Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And this is currently just through a virtual platform through Zoom. And next up, this is our contact information on how you can reach us. The best options are, of course, our telephone, email, and you can always visit our website for more information. And just a reminder that the services that are provided are at no cost to any participant. And we do offer services in other languages as well, including English, Punjabi, Hindi, Urdu, Arabic, and Malayalam. And these are some of our locations.
I also want to add, one of our locations is also in Caledon. It's in the Southfields Community Center, which is also great for the region of Peel, because I do know we also have schools in Caledon. So that's also a location that's not mentioned there, but it is mentioned on our website.
So thank you, everyone. That just about wraps up our presentation. And yes, thank you.
Thank you, Punjabi Community Health Services. This was the last organization presented in today's Community Services panel event. We would like to thank all the presenters for taking the time to share information about their services. We know that children and youth and their families greatly benefit from all the services that are offered within the region of Peel. And we encourage you to reach out to these organizations to inquire further about how they may be able to support you and your families. There are many services existing within our community that also offer invaluable services. Today, we had an opportunity to hear from 7 of them. Please stay tuned for future events by Peel District School Board and sharing more information about these resources. Finally, we want to remind you that there are mental health supports for students and their families offered within the Peel District School Board. There are many ways to access these supports. For more information about school-based and community-based services, please visit www.peelschools.org/mental-health-parent. We hope that you found the information shared with you today to be helpful. Thank you for attending today's webinar and enjoy the rest of your day.